Tuesday, have you had a sit down with the players and what was the outcome? And you were a frustrated character, I would say, Tuesday night, maybe angry a little bit.
I think so, but I think it's just because you find yourself 2-0 up in a game, and probably because I'm not going to we've said a similar thing in the last couple of weeks, so the frustration's clearly there, but everybody's feeling that as well. But whether we won the game, lost the game, we've got a point, that's one you need to remember, didn't lose. You'd always reflect, you go over the game anyway, because it was always about looking over the last one and understanding exactly what happened and how you can get better, because that's what you need to do. And I think we've had a really good week since then. I think the players, I spoke a lot about accountability and responsibility and what that looks like, and it's my responsibility for results, clearly, and the players in moments are saying the same thing about responsibility to do your job all the time, and I think that's where we've got ourselves down in some very few individual moments.
If we go back to our months, there was a lot of similarities where you were losing some late goals there as well, and again it was probably a bit more costly then than what it's been this season. But is there a mental aspect of the game that the players maybe need to work on, or is there something that the club can deliver to the players to try and help?
I think the big thing is, one, you can't do shy away from it and just look at it and say it'll be alright. I think you need to address it to a certain extent, but then you don't want it to become a thing as well. So that's one thing I did say. We spoke about with the players, we've watched the game back, we spoke about the big thing I always want to try and get is feedback from the players as well, because they're the ones that are, it's very easy for me standing with a laser pen after the game, pausing it saying, why did you do this, you could have done this. They're making 1,000 decisions all the time, and they've got the anxiety and what they're feeling at the time when they're at the stage of the game, what that looks like, fatigue in their body, whatever it is. So it's good to understand exactly what they're feeling when in that moment. What was the decision when it gets to 40 minutes? Are we doing anything different or whatever it might be? And then when you start to think about that and dive into it, then it starts to become a thing. So I think what I've tried to say to the players and reassure the players is, what I don't want anybody thinking is they're looking at the clock at all and worrying about, do I do anything different? If we've been successful for 39 minutes and I'm going to do something in 39 minutes, I'm going to do anything different on the 40th. And we could lose a goal tomorrow, an unstoppable strike in the 44th minute, people talking about the timing of the goal again. Now, some of the goals we've been losing and the timing of them, the timing's one thing, but I would be really disappointed if the goals are losing anyway. So, and as a group we're disappointed in these moments. So that's the biggest bit. It doesn't matter whether it's the first minute or the last minute, some of the goals we're giving up isn't due to the time, in my opinion, it's due to in the moments that we need to defend better, whether that be stopping the cross, whether that be having that desire to defend the goal. And if it is getting towards half time and what that looks like, making sure everyone's on the same page, and that's all we can do is reassure the players, give them the belief to make sure that going on the pitch tomorrow, that nobody's worrying about timings and all that sort of stuff, you're going in to put the best performance you can.
When you're playing the likes of Falkirk, with great respect to Falkirk, and there's more of an expectation on Hibernian to be winning those games. There's always an expectation from within, I would imagine, to do well in these fixtures. And the same when you go to Celtic, but there's maybe less expectation from outside the club to do well at Celtic. Does that maybe make things a little bit different tomorrow?
No, I think your personal pride and the expectation that you set as a group is something that's always there. I think that you spoke about the expectation of us going to Falkirk and expecting to win. I think that just comes with playing for a club like Hibs. I think we are expected to win games of football. On top of that, you need to be able to handle that, because that is what you sign up to when you come to the football club. But it certainly doesn't make it any easier because we're going to Celtic Park and everyone, Celtic face that challenge every single week, because the champions for last season, everybody will try and raise their game for Celtic. I don't worry about the players going along there and doing that, because that's the biggest test and challenge in Scottish football at the minute. I think that's something the players need to relish and look forward to. The thing that gives you the confidence and belief in the group is we've done, not against some top teams this season, put some big performances in. But the one thing domestically that we've probably not done yet is put a complete performance in. Now, we would say the Dundee game to an extent because we win the game, but still moments in that we allowed Dundee back into the game just after we'd scored and things like that. So if you're being picky in that situation, a complete domestic performance is probably why we've not got more points on the board than we have, because of some of the performances within the games have been very good. Chances created, spoke a lot about that, and the importance of taking your chances when you're on top, because this league punishes you if you stay in the game and don't kill the game off. So that's something that's been spoken a lot about in the group. But I think, as I just said there, it is about making sure that together you all know that why you're doing what you're doing and you believe it's going to change, and there's no disaster here at all. There's a situation where we're still undefeated, both teams domestically undefeated at the weekend going into the game, and history tells you it's a difficult place to go. So the players are well aware of that, and I've challenged them all season, last season. I'm going to continue to do it every game this week to change it. The challenge is, it's been 15 years, I think it's 15 years since Hibs last went to Parkhead and won, and that's a challenge for the players.
Is it any consolation? Even Brendan Rodgers was saying that Celtic will maybe not hit the heights that they were expecting to hit this season yet.
I don't think that changes much from our point of view. I think they've got a fantastic team. They've got fantastic individuals. They've brought new players in, probably later on in the window. So he might be talking from a point of view that not having all pre-season to work with new players, which is every manager and club will be the same when everybody wants to do the business on day one. The squad as early as you can. It doesn't always work like that, we know that. So people talking about these things, all I can concentrate on is my game plan. Going to the Celtic Park, regardless of what 11 Brendan decides to put out, it will be a top elite 11 that comes out with a top bench behind it. So again, for us to get the result we're looking for, it will take a complete performance.
Similar squad for Tuesday, or something?
Similar squad, yeah. Who else still in the squad? So Joe's still out, Alisana's still out, Ellie's still won't be available, his ankle's still not right, and everybody else is fit and available.
You've spoken about having that strength and depth. Do you see making changes ahead of this game? Is it something that players need to be aware there's always places at risk?
I think that's a natural thing and a healthy thing within a group. I can't keep sitting here saying I've got a good squad and strong squad and then not use it when it's available to do so. But I also don't want the players to feel like if I make one mistake I'm going to get changed. You don't want that either. You need continuity, you need consistency in team selection, which comes from playing together and playing well and what that looks like. But it's a good place to be when you have got the strength and depth that we've got in certain positions where I have got headaches and decisions to make at times, and I think that's a good place to be. We've played so many games, especially earlier on when you were taking a little bit more. Now that this is obviously a 3-game week this week, but it does start to settle down, starts to become week to week, and then you usually find that the team settles down and becomes more consistent within that. But the consistency only comes from winning, playing well and playing at the top of your game, and that's a good place to be when you know that if one player doesn't quite perform at the levels consistently well, then someone's able to come in and take the place.
People might look at the next couple of games and say that it's daunting, but do you look at it as an exciting opportunity to maybe change the atmosphere or change the mood perceptions?
Always, I think that's always the way you need to look at it, how quickly things, a brilliant example of demonstrating how things can change in a positive way very quickly, and it can go the other way. I've always guarded against that. The one thing you need to do all the time is be honest with yourselves as a group, stay humble during the whole period, and then look at people saying now we've not got as many points as we should have, and we'll all agree internally that's the case, but I think we'll probably play worse in games and pick up points along this very long season. We still need to remember we're undefeated in the league this season, could be a lot better. There's certainly no negativity within the training ground and on the training pitch every single day, and that's the most important thing for me. The noise will be the noise, it's always there, and that comes with the expectation of the club, it comes with the narrative that gets spun every now and again and how quickly it can change. And if you go and recreate history or change the history tomorrow and be the first team in 15 years to go and win, how quickly that changes. And then if it's not the result you get, you've got Derby to look forward to after that as well, and that changes. So every game is so important how quickly it can change.
Joe, you how's he coming along? How far away is he?
He's coming along well. He's on the grass again today. Must have done a full week's training without the contacts out there, so he's not really been back in the group as such this week, but his aim is to, because we've had games and things as well, it's not really been conducive for him. He needs to be still doing his conditioning work to make sure he's not dropping off at this stage, so he should all be well. If he gets through this weekend, he's had a couple of hard days joining the group next week, and then it'll be basically building them up within that sort of controlled chaos amongst the players.
Zach Mitchell obviously came in just after the window. How's he coming along? Is he knocking on the door for involvement?
Yeah, every day when you see him in training, he's been a really good addition, and he's having to be patient, he knows that. He's got competition, we spoke a lot about the competition, but it's not as if he's not been involved as such yet, and I'm looking at him disappointed at all with what we've done. I think he's been brilliant in terms of his attitude every day in training. A lot of people spoke very highly of him, the type of character he is as a boy. I've seen that on day one. I've got a lot about him. Really good temperament, wants to learn, young, hungry defender that has been a good addition to the group.